In a weekend in April, the Tokoroa Vintage Car Club, in association with the vintage motorcycles, put on a ride known as the Great Lake Run around Taupo Lake, starting from Taupo. We have a Norton bike there by one of the organisers. We have different people. There's a person from the far north had come down, a three-wheeler had appeared, as well as a number of vintage cars. So with this colour in the car park at the Tokoroa Club, the cars and motorcycles gathered for a briefing, and these cars represent cars from South Waikato and from the Auckland area. They are cars that are British cars in this look, and Ford. And there's one of the organisers, John Patterson, who works out at the Kinleith Mill and has put together a lovely vintage bike, which we'll see a little bit more of later. So this is the gathering down at the Tokoroa car park to allow the public a viewing opportunity before the run takes around an anti-clockwise direction around the lake, which means that the left hand of the motorcycle handlebars is always facing the lake, heading towards Turangi. Zodiac, as we can see, a Ford. Then we have next to that a Jaguar. In the back, in the yellow, was a Mr. Moss, who was the tail end Charlie, an important trailer, which means bikes that break down can be picked up and carted to the nearest location for assistance. This was Mr. Banks and his wife, a lovely car that regularly comes. And we have a mixing of both bikes and cars, which personally I enjoy. It works out very well. Francis was the secretary who worked hard in organising the various people to come along. This is a B Twin 750, and we have the Motor Guzzi. This was from the far north, and we have a Suzuki two-stroke there. In the background you can see Ted Billett and Robin Atkins. Robin Atkins from Tokoroa Motorcycles. There's Pete Smith, who vintage car enthusiast and one of the members there, and Ted Billett, who used to work at the Light Workshop. And so this run, if you like, is the inaugural run being run out of Tokoroa. It has been run in the past around the lake through the Vintage Vehicle Association in Taupo. This is the Turangi RSA, where the cars parked and everyone went inside and had a lunch. The car park was graced by these vintage cars and vintage motorcycles, and it was a lovely ride. The full ride is probably 120 miles, getting close to just over 200 kilometres by the time you go from Tokoroa back to Tokoroa. So stopping off for a nice long lunch was wonderful. This young man, his mother was the secretary of the Tauranga vintage motorcycles over there, classic motorcycles. And there in the background you can see the blue bike, which is Mr. Patterson's CB 900F, and this has been restored. This is a very well restored motorcycle, and the attention to detail can be seen. This was purchased, if you like, and the motor was a good condition, but then everything else you see here has been restored, new exhaust pipes, and it would be worthwhile talking to John Patterson over exactly what's been put on here. But absolutely a lovely, lovely demonstration of restoring a bike back to, if you like, its original condition, and in some cases perhaps better than it came out of the factory with regards to things like the exhaust pipes and things of that nature. So well done, John, for that, and it was a pleasure to ride about a quarter of the distance with you. There's another shot from the car park in Turangi, and this picture back at the Tote Club shows both leathered people as well as those driving the cars. Thank you very much.